nice jacket, so I feel like a professional here. And so now so I've heard you tell me about CityVest, so I'm just going to be a potential client. So while I put most of my investment into dental nachos, if I had $25,000, it's not, investing with you doesn't have anything to do with the 401k or IRA. It's just a regular investment, right?
You could invest in our offerings through a self-directed IRA or self-directed 401k.
What's that mean? Like if I have an IRA with someone named Tom Hartley, a financial advisor, and let's just say there's $500,000 in the IRA, I could say I want to put 50 of it inside of what you guys do, or is that what a self-directed one is?
Yes, but Tom Hartley is not an approved custodian. Approved custodians include Fidelity, Schwab.
Well, he does it through Schwab.
Okay, so you could not invest through Schwab into our product. It would have to be a specialized custodian called a self-directed IRA custodian. Gotcha. And they're different names: Millennium, Pensco, Equity Trust. There's about 50 of them.
And in your normal travels, is it more people like me just saying, hey, here's $25,000, Alan, put it into CityVest and I'll just check back on it in 20 years and I'll add 25 grand a year to it? Or tell me a little more about that.
So you would make a specific investment, and they're always different. So you'd have to look at the terms of a specific investment. It might be a 3-year fund, a 5-year fund, could be an 8-year fund. And so it's going to mature. It's going to produce distributions. It'll produce bigger distributions in later years as assets are sold. And then the fund will wind up. You'll have all of your money back plus some profits. Along the way, you're going to get lots of tax deductions, which we don't really talk about at all during any of our calls. Usually the targeted IRR is around 15%. We just concluded a deal that the target IRR is 28%, but that doesn't even include the fact that early on there are depreciation tax benefits. So you're not going to have to pay tax on anything that you're receiving for the first couple of years.
Oh, cool.
So it's a bit more complicated.
So, quick question, Alan, just for my knowledge too. So if someone does not have a self-directed IRA, let's say that Schwab situation, to get money out of that IRA to put it into a self-directed IRA, are there penalties to make that transfer, being that it's going from IRA to IRA?
No, there's no penalties.
Okay.
And then there's different kinds of IRAs. Most sophisticated people that have a lot of money, they don't want to just put it into the stock market. They want to put it in something that most likely is a private investment, because a private investment by its very nature is private. Once you get to the public markets, you're a retail investor. That's retail pricing. The institutions have all the information. You have none of the information. So if you're a retail guy looking to put, 10,000 into Tesla, you're getting in at the wrong time. The institutions had their analysts and they got in a year ago and drove up the price now. And anybody that's investing now, they're the greater fool thinking, oh, now's the time to get in. But in a private investment, they're hard to access. Because they're hard to access, they are, it's private pricing, usually investing in things that are not available to everyone. So you're not getting a retail priced investment.
So could you, if I really wanted this to happen, can you work with Tom Hartley of Hartley Advisors, who works with Schwab, as a additional, like, can I take money from that and start a self-directed IRA with the money that I have in a traditional IRA, or do you have to start from scratch?
You would move the money from that Schwab account.
Gotcha.
And I don't know if Tom Hartley would care about that, but you would move it from the Schwab account to another IRA account. There's no penalties for doing that. It's IRA to IRA. So people all the time.
You have to move the whole sum, or you can just move some of it?
Any amount you want.
Gotcha.
And then within this self-directed IRA world, there is even a product called, you may want to look it up for yourself, called a checkbook IRA. And that allows you to literally make investments from your checkbook IRA by writing a check or wiring. And you don't have to tell your custodian what you're doing. You just do it. Now, you have to use it only for approved, qualified investments. So you can't take the money out and pay for college. You can't take the money out and buy yourself a new car. You can't pay down your mortgage. It's only for specific kinds of investments, which we qualify as that because we're a real third-party investment. But the checkbook IRA adds flexibility as opposed to a regular self-directed IRA custodian in which you have to seek their approval on paperwork, and it will take 2 or 3 weeks to make a non-public investment.
Gotcha.
So checkbook IRA is the term. We work with a company called Rocket Dollar. They reduce their fees for us, but that's the way you would do it if you were fairly conservative. However, you would not want to make a IRA investment in many of my investments because real estate has this incredible, unique, and unreasonable advantage. You don't have to pay tax on your distribution because of depreciation.
Oh, gotcha.
And so why would you put it into a tax shield into a retirement account where you don't even get the tax benefits?
Now, so gotcha. So if I said, hey, I'm going to get $25,000 together to start with you, Alan, or $50,000, because I'm trying to understand that I've learned a lot through these interviews, but I'm good at telling the story to other people. But it basically is $25,000 to $50,000 to start investing, and then people can add as much as little as they want yearly, or how does that work?
No, the investment closes. We just closed one in 10 days.
Gotcha.
So people had to act quick. They had to sign up for an investment amount, fill in documents, wire the money. 10 days, we're done. Gotcha. You can't get into that fund. It's a 7-year fund, and those are the investors. There's no taking money in and out. There's no putting more money in.
Gotcha.
There's no
okay.
reinvestment. It's
when's your next one open? When does your next one open?
Next week.
Gotcha. And so as you communicate with these dentists, is it people who have like $200,000 or $300,000 in liquid assets that they just pay for this? Or like, I'm trying to understand who would be the investor like me, right? Like, would it be, I have $100,000 in a checking account, but that would be unlikely, right? Like I wouldn't have
our investors typically have hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in checking accounts. Gotcha. They're 95% doctors. They're making 40. I see their tax returns. They're making 40, 50,000 a month. Gotcha. And the money keeps coming in and it grows their checking account and they get anxious. Like, I got to put this money somewhere. And that's our market. And they don't need the money because they have more money coming in and they have lots of different accounts in their Vanguard account, and they have lots of real estate investments and they're well diversified. And this is just one more investment. We find at this point, we've had 8 funds on our site. We have some people that are in all 8 of them. They just keep investing money in these deals. We had one guy in this last fund last week. He put $500,000 into the deal.
Got now, and then he's
an anesthesiologist in Hawaii.
He like locks it up until for 7. It's pretty much locked up for 7 years.
This particular fund is 4 years.
Locked up for 4 years.
But
gotcha.
the term of the funds vary depending on who the underlying real estate investment fund manager is. Because my job is to find the best of those managers. Gotcha. I'm not investing. I'm finding the manager. And so, frankly, in January, when we close the deal that we're going to launch next week, in January, I don't have a fund. I'm still looking. I'm looking at about 80 different funds to find the best one that's audited with an administrator, great returns, no drunk driving arrest, no liens, no adverse comments on the SEC or FINRA, Keyman Life Insurance on
So right now
the investment fund
so
manager.
if I said I have $25,000 I want to send you, you'd say, hold it till we're ready.
You would not send it to me. You would click a button that says invest now. You will
Gotcha.
fill in documents online through something called DocuSign, and then you wire to the account of that special entity that is going to make the investment in the underlying fund that may have a minimum of $1 million. So you can't get into these good funds.
And it's going to tell me what that minimum is for me.
Your minimum for you is going to be 25,000 into my fund. I'm aggregating these people in this fund we just closed. We're over 5 million.
Gotcha.
What do I get for 5 million? I get better investment terms. I got a 14% preferred return on that fund. For other investors that invest $1 million, they get an 8% preferred return.
So this is good. This has been the best 10 minutes we've talked, because now I know who you really need to meet. He really needs to meet Ben Birnbaum, Brandon, because Ben Birnbaum's an accountant who only does bookkeeping for dentists. And he himself is really into investing. He is very unique, but he has a book of clients who rival your anesthesiologist because they're dental specialists. See, the general dentist like me and a lot of our audience is more in the $150,000 to $300,000 of income, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The dental specialist world, though, is $300,000 to $800,000, right?
Wow.
And he has, like, I know one of his clients right now. So it'll be a relationship building thing, but I think it'll be the thing that could help you really get access to the right person. So put me, Ben, and Alan on an email and say, because these people listen to Ben Allen, like he's in our lives and we listen to him, right? Now, that doesn't mean that if he says invest 50 grand, a periodontalist is going to say, sure, Ben, but him knowing that what you do for his high clients that make that 50 grand a month, like you talk about, is so valuable.
Yeah.
I mean, what we're doing a lot on Nachos for you guys, now I can see it more, is we're really branding and we're really sharing that CityVest is a resource. And as you know, somebody who is an associate today becomes a practice owner in a year and they go from 150 to 350, right? But my Nacho TLC stuff is really the Ben's, right? Because I know Ben has clients who make over $500,000 a year. I have a relationship with Ben. He talks to you. These are the ones that would really streamline success for you.
Yeah, the other people making 200 to 300, they can still put in 25,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Or 50,000. But
I mean, I guess it just really comes down to, because like you said, it doesn't make sense to necessarily pull money from your tax advantage retirement account, because we're dealing with real estate. So the benefit here is people pulling money to have liquid in other places, whether it be in a regular checking and savings account, whether it be in, who knows, but so that's really the key here.
It's complicated. We did one fund that's a fix and flip fund. So you've seen these shows on TVs, Flipping Vegas and these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a short-term investment. They do it on a fund basis. They do it just in LA, where the price points are ridiculous. Like a starter home in a bad neighborhood is $400,000 in LA. So they're buying a house like that. They'll put in $100,000 into the house.
Sell it for 800, 900, right?
Right. Sell it for something under 750, which qualifies for Fannie Mae financing.
Got it.
You have to put in 3%, right? Because these are starting when you put down 3% low rate, and that resulting mortgage interest cost is actually less than you would have paid in rent. So that's a specialty. My point here is they're buying this thing and they're flipping it within 6 months.
Right.
Right. That is short-term income, which is perfect for an IRA. So while we determine this isn't appropriate for an IRA, that fund
type of fund is, because the thing is, so if someone invests in that fund, how long is that money tied up? Just till the flip.
I think that's I think it's like a 3-year fund, that particular one. So every fund is different. There's hundreds of niches. The one fund we just did is called a GP co-invest fund. The next fund is a senior living opportunistic fund. Every
Okay.
fund is different and has unique
The key
qualities
here is that
of
they're all real
income.
estate and you're all finding the best managers of these funds. That's the consistent
And so
thing here.
you're waiting to
My
add
job-
a block here, Alan. I'm on your website. So this is your next one coming here. Because all of them are
Well,
closed
the
right now,
next
right?
one will go at, yeah, the next one will go at the very top and push everything down.
Oh,
Gotcha.
I mean, you're everything's closed right now. So if I wanted to invest now, it'd be how to invest, right? And this is what you do: select single investment. Would I be, if I really wanted to invest, would I do something now or would I just wait?
Yeah, you can't invest this minute, but if you want to see the deal we are in the process of closing, hit that investments button.
Gotcha.
Okay, actually you were there. So hit the investments button.
Claremont up
There
here.
it is. Now hit Claremont. That's the one we're just closing.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you'll see there's a couple of videos. You can watch that investment fund manager. There's the
cool.
description of what the underlying entity is, what that underlying fund has done. There's some, considerations for why you would want to invest. And then there's details. There's a third-party due diligence report, terms, team, documents.
Cool.
Quite a lot of information there.
So for the sake of how we connect people to you, like I understand connecting people, connecting you to Ben is one way, but just in general, when we're in the group and people are asking questions and looking for investment opportunities or advice, those people, I guess a connection to you is really just a connection to, it's not like you have like a waiting list or something, or can they kind of join and say, okay, I'm part of CityVest's preferred list of people that are going to get information or updated when the new fund comes out?
Yeah, so on the site at the top of the page, I'll just have to go there myself, see what we have up there. It probably says something like join, or
I have it back up.
I'm just going to my site too.
Investment.
It says sign up for free. Very top of the page in blue, sign up for free.
Gotcha.
You can sign up and join an email list, and if you're in there, we'll send you an email when we launch.
Now, let's say I try a different strategy, Alan, instead of we have some good videos of me, but now let's say I go one-on-one and I give this to 5 high net worth friends and say, I had a one-on-one conversation with Alan today. You should sign up for free. How can I get them tracked to me just so I can say, oh, I'm really trying to do a good job for you, Alan?
So we would give you a specially coded link that you give to them. When they click on that, they're actually going to go to
that same link you already gave me, Alan, right? That same landing. It's
right,
basically a
right.
coded.
So, not,
so we have that. The link you already gave me as a landing page was already coded to your site, but it's coded for dental nachos, right?
Well, I need to make sure that that one's coded. It may have just been the link that went to our investors page.
Gotcha. Okay.
Wow, so how'd you get in there?
I signed up.
Oh, okay.
I just signed up while we were talking.
Yeah, so that's our dashboard. And that's after you've invested, you would have a deal that would show up in your dashboard so that you can see quarterly information. Where did you invest from? How do you get your distributions? K1 tax reports, all of that shows up at that dashboard.
So this has been such a productive conversation, Alan, because now I have some really good strategy. So what I like to do is I like to create assets in a story and make you known as someone in the group. Still really important to try to add some value in the group for, for investment stuff, right? It doesn't have to be invest with me, just, what's the value of using real estate or, issues you've seen. And maybe, we were talking to some companies today, Alan, maybe that's not you. It could be somebody who works for you, right? It could be your marketing person. It could be one of your team members who can contribute in the group. Bring up Brandon where you tagged Alan just yesterday.
Give me a second.
But what I'm thinking, Alan, is if I was to refer you a dentist who makes $500,000 a year, I say, you should talk to Alan. do these people call you and ask you questions? Do they want to find out more about you? Do they usually just wait until it's done? I mean, tell me a little about the doctor dental client onboarding process.
Yeah, a lot of people call me. I actually have a daily group conference call for anybody to join. They have to sign up for it. And it happens every single day.
I love that.
It usually lasts about a half hour, but sometimes an hour and a half if people have a lot of questions, and they learn from other people's questions. We haven't yet gotten our technology down to do it through Zoom, but a lot of these guys don't want to be seen anyway. So we simply do it as a group conference call, and people come and go on the calls. But you usually have to sign up to get the code to join the call. And usually just people call in and they'll just lurk about and hear other doctors' questions, predominantly doctors on there. And we do it every single day.
I mean, I think, Alan, we should just look to get that in front of our dentist one-on-one. So if you were going to give me and Brandon, here's just an example. Do you have a financial advisor and how would you find them? And I tagged you, Brandon tagged you and some sponsors. So these are just good ones, whether it's you or your team. You could show them the other two sponsors I tagged in there.
Yeah, so this is a post that came through. Somebody asked that. Somebody commented, that was kind of like anti-financial advisor.
Good.
So they went back and forth with Paul a little bit in a friendly way. And some other people chimed in talking about the difference between a certified financial planner and a financial advisor. Paul mentioned that, tagged some of the financial advisors that are in our group and that are sponsors, like Matt Miguel and Ryan Isaac. Someone even talked about White Coat. Somebody even talked about White Coat Investor. So Abundo Wealth. And then I think I tagged you in it somewhere of like Alan Donenfeld, maybe to share some insight on the topic. So these type of tags, if you're not available to chime in or jump into these, if there's somebody else from CityVest that can, that's just a great way to kind of keep the conversation going and have some exposure in the group. Just to have a conversation, even if it's not about, hey, invest in my real estate fund, just to kind of get more exposure in the group as Alan, or like say, whoever else you designate from CityVest, that'll just help get more dentists comfortable with, anything that we talk about regarding CityVest.
That's something you think
I can do that. I do get the notices when you do tag me. So usually what happens is I go in and take a look and I don't see anybody participating, but that probably happens then over the next 2 or 3 days.
Here's the secret to that. When you don't see the people participating, it doesn't mean that they're not talking to each other in direct messages behind the scenes. We had to learn that too. So a lot of times what will happen is someone will post something, or there'll be any post, could be one of our posts even, and we'll be posting stuff and we'll be advertising stuff and giving advice, and you won't hear, it'll sound like crickets, right? If you look at it. But what happens is the people, like, because I even do this myself, if I see a post that has a conversation that I find interesting, but let's say I'm busy, or let's just say I don't get a chance to comment in real time, you know what I do? I go in and I click save post and I save it. I have my own secret file on Facebook of posts about different topics. And then if you go and you see like it's crazy. Like, so like, let me kind of give you an example of what I mean. Let me just show you exactly what I mean, because this is what I do myself. And I know I'm not the only person that does this. So you're seeing my Facebook again now, right? So let's say I didn't feel like commenting on this post in real time, right? I go to these 3 dots and I can go to save link, right? And it'll ask me if I'm adding this to my saved items. Look at the different categories I've had: economics, Nacho tasks, business, leisure, medicine, vehicles, education, US politics. Like, I got everything that I even care about or think about, like, things to watch, technology, family, shopping, legal. Do you see what I mean? Events. So and no one can see that but me. That's my own personal Facebook file of things I find interesting on Facebook that I want to revisit later. So I know people do that. So a lot of times what happens is you're right. There might not be a big, long, 100 comment conversation that you see, but I guarantee you Brad Miller is probably talking behind the scenes to James Pham, who they might both be talking behind the scenes to Colleen. You see what I mean? And we'll never see that, but they're paying attention in another way. So any value you can bring to those posts, by all means, please do.
Am I in that private group or wherever you're posting, or?
You should be. We've had you in it. I know we sent you the link to it a while ago. So you should be in it, or I wouldn't have been able to tag you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna check. Sorry, I'm looking over here because I have two screens. Okay. I have a group, 28,000 members. Is that the private group? Or?
That's the one. That's the one.
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, in our basic
like...
protocol for anyone who sponsors with us, and I may have mentioned this to you before, it's like, yeah, you can't just go around posting advertisements about your company, but what you can do is just provide value and insight, especially since conversations about finance and investing come up. Like, and you know, if you can provide general generic value and say, hey, like if someone like that person that posted saying that they didn't understand the difference between a financial planner and a financial advisor, you can provide value to that and just answer that question, right? It doesn't even have to be like always a plug for CityVest, but that's just getting people to know you, and then you become somebody that's trusted, right? As somebody who can kind of, you know, give good advice. And then even silly stuff. People are posting about, hey, what kind of dog breed is good for easy training? I mean, if you know something about dogs, comment on that, you know? So it's like, it's whatever. I mean, obviously you're not a dentist. So when they're posting about clinical cases and these crowns look good, like you might not be the person to comment on that, but there's so many other things. And then, you know, even if you're kind of want to like cherry pick, you can hit the search and do like a keyword search of keywords that interest you, and you can find those posts to comment on. You see what I mean? But anytime you comment and then plug CityVest, you just have to use the phrase, hey, I'm Alan, you know, from CityVest. This is what we do. We are a key resource and sponsor dental. You just got to disclose that you're a key resource and sponsor dental nachos if you do anything that's advertising CityVest.
Okay.
So,
Alan, tell me more. I think what we should do from this call is just do this. Make sure we have the link to get people into your website through us. And then how can I promote your daily call? Like if I want to be on this call tomorrow, how could I be on it?
You would sign up through www. And I can send this to you.
You put it in the chat.
Okay.
Oh, it's your Calendly event? It's your Calendly thing?
Yeah, but it's a specific page there, but let me put it into the chat.
This will get people into your daily call. And what do you call this call? What do you call it?
I call it my call. I do. You'll see at the very end. It's called the call.
Okay, cool.
Because I know, Brandon, do a quick thing. I got a great idea right now because we don't even do this is perfect. Let's make a quick sidecar with this in it. So is this for all of them or just tomorrow?
It's for all of them. So you go there and it'll show you every single day. And there's one specific time. It varies between 12 o'clock and 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock.
Brandon, you could do this tomorrow morning or this. So if I sign up, Alan, for tomorrow, that's 6 p.m. Friday, 12 p.m. Yeah. Monday, because tomorrow's a snow day, Brandon. Maybe we do something fun like become rad on your snow day. Right. Check in with Alan. And if I want to confirm, so now you'll just see me in here, but like if I don't show up, nothing happens, right?
Well, I've got to show up if somebody has registered.
But like, how many people, I mean, what's your percentage? Cause I do a lot of free stuff, Alan.
Once I have it, so I don't have a deal right now. So I've told people I'm not marketing that call. I'm not telling anybody to go on the call because I don't have anything to sell. I'm happy to explain what we're doing. But last week I had about 15 people per day on my call.
Okay.
Oh, so wait, I was going to just sign up to just see what happened, but are you not doing it tomorrow? You are doing it.
If you sign up, I'll be there.
So basically that link that's just basically his Calendly, just like our Calendly links, except his Calendly link is for this call. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know if someone's going to sign up on my Calendly link today or tomorrow, or, you know, I get alerts when people do. So he's saying if he gets people, then he just does it. Just no different than our Calendly.
Exactly. So I have a Calendly to schedule a specific time with me, right? So I see that you signed up for,
You know how
6
kind of like
o'clock.
Paul, you know how like we parse out your Calendly and there's a Calendly link specifically for people who want to talk about sponsoring in
Yes.
2021. So he's
Yeah.
basically doing the same thing. Like he's got specific Calendly links for different things.
I mean, do you want,
But-
would you want people to do your personal call or this access fund call?
The access fund call, because then I can group more people together as opposed to
Right.
having,
Right.
15 different, 45-minute calls
Here's what
explaining the exact same thing.
I have the idea. Delete me for tomorrow, Alan, because I probably won't be able to make it tomorrow. I have a great idea though. The 30th at noon, we're going to make that the Dental Nachos call. And we'll be on, I'm going to promote that call out, Brandon. And me and you will be on it too.
Okay, 30th at noon. So so basically sign up on his Calendly for the 30th at noon.
Yeah, so save this link so we can promote it in a mail
So I could sign up for that now if I want to, right?
Yeah. I'm going to sign up, Alan. Can I delete mine tomorrow, or I don't want to mess you up, Alan?
Let's see. Okay, I see you. I'm
30th
just
at
trying
noon.
to.
You don't. I know you're going to be off, Brand, so you don't have to jump on. I'm just put it.
I'm gonna put. Even though I'll be. I'm happy to jump on this because I want to see it myself. So where it says who referred you, is this where we just for consistency? I want to do this like somebody that we send it to. Is this where I would put Dental Nachos?
Yeah, that would be the best.
Perfect.
The best thing.
So Brandon, do a sidecar for this tomorrow and say, hey, end of the year, learn creative retirement strategies, investing. Dr. Nacho, I'm going to be on this JFO call with our key resource and sponsor. See, Alan, now this was great. I mean, I'm not sure if, what your plans are for that. I want to deliver for what we've done so far. So I want to make sure I get people, but this is the thing. If I tell people I'm going to listen in and learn, they'll be apt to also do that, right? And you control everything. You're talking, the questions. It's not like a Facebook Live in our group. So I think we have plenty of stuff for branding. I want to get you more stuff to get people to move forward.
Yeah. So, there's two major topics. One is what do we do? And then the other topic is what's the current deal? What can I invest in?
Yeah.
So I usually like to stick to what do we have, but the early part of those calls is a reiteration of how does CityVest work? How did I get started in this? My brother's a doctor, created the access funds, and then it gets into what is this particular fund? I would say that, a lot of my investors have heard this 5 times already.
Gotcha.
They're not too bored at hearing that. We could do a special 1, 2, or 3 for your guys, learn about it, and they would sign up for special ones. We could do that rather than this regularly scheduled one. But this is always on my calendar.
I think if we invite people to the regularly scheduled one, we can also in the invite put in an interview that you've already done with Paul.
Yeah, perfect.
So they can at least have some good knowledge of what CityVest does. And then you can kind of just do it like your normal call.
Let's do that as our next step. And we'll just I want to make sure we deliver to Alan. So after this, we'll do our own thing after this, Brandon and Alan. So let some people jump on your regular call. Let Brandon and I listen in. You'll probably have a deal by then anyway, right, Alan?
We should have one by next Wednesday is my guess. So about a week.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So by the 30th we will, yeah.
So cool. And then we can roll for that, and then we can make a special Dental Nachos thing from there. Now I think I understand, Alan, how we could really get the right people in front of you from our segmentation, right? The right person isn't a dental resident who's making 50 grand a year. A lot of people have seen what we've done through you, seen you on the interviews, and see that you're a resource and branded as someone in the group. But just like with signing up with a regular financial planner, it's a fairly big step, right? A lot of dentists are apprehensive. But I have this 40 to 50-year-old people like me that I can just say, hey, jump on these calls. And I think it's going to be great.
Excellent.
I think it's really, and you're going to help a lot of dentists. You'll be help them retire sooner. I mean, right now you have 95% dentists, or doctors. Are the other 5% dentists, or just a random grouping of human beings?
No, random group, but there are a lot of dentists on White Coat Investor.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we do have a couple of those guys.
But see, a regular doctor is a rich dentist, right? Like dentists make a lot less than doctors in general. So
yeah, probably.
we just need to find the ones. Now that you told me 40, 50 grand a month or income, now I know what to do. You know, that's what you told me your normal client
and
earns.
it burns a hole in their pocket. They're sitting there with the
Right.
money saying, what do I do with this money?
Right. This is definitely right for the specialist. This is definitely right for a specialist.
Yeah.
And, okay. What do you want?
You
do?
You know who would love to do this probably is the guy who was complaining, Brad Miller. Why don't you invite him?
Well, that's the funny thing. Like, well, you know why he would love to do it? Because it feels self-directed to him.
Yes,
so, I mean, this will be like, I'm not paying a financial advisor. Okay, fine. Just make this choice yourself. Just got to, as long as he feels like he's doing it by himself, he'll do
it. Perfect, Alan. So let's do that. Let's plan for the 30th. We'll get some attention on it. It'll be fun. And then we'll do something specific to our group after that.
Okay, I'm sorry. What are we going to do on the 30th?
30th, I'm going to invite people to the call.
We're going to invite people to the call on the 30th. We're going to use, so that they have some knowledge, we're going to and give them the video that you've done in the past with Paul, so that they at least have some knowledge and they're not coming in there blind like they don't know anything about CityVest. But this will be an opportunity for you. So do your normal spiel, a couple minutes of explaining who CityVest is, and then the most of it explaining the actual opportunity that you have, since you'll probably have one by then anyway. So you don't do anything differently. We're just going to, on our end, invite people to this call. See, this is better than the other idea, which was we're going to do a webinar in our group. I think this is better to get them to your call and, let you just do your normal thing.
Okay, excellent.
Now, here's my question though. Because everyone on this call is not going to be from Dental Nacho. So that $25,000 floor, is that just a Dental Nacho's floor, or do other people have that? Because I know you originally said 50,000 was the minimum.
The deal before this one, every deal before that was 50,000.
Okay.
And on the deal right before, I ended up with 70 investors, but our limit is 99. So I thought I ought to make sure that whoever wants to invest 25 can do that. And I gave White Coat and the Investor the option of introducing people at 25, but some people saw the 50 and didn't invest. So I said, what the hell? I just wanted to make sure that if I tell them 25, right. So I'm not. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And what happened? We filled it up in like 10 days.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I do have a lot of people
Go ahead, Alan. Sorry.
Yeah, we filled it up in 10 days. We did have a lot of people at 100,000, 150, one guy at 500,000, but then there were, 25 guys at 25,000. And I'm happy to have them in there because they don't know me. They want to see what this is all about. They want to see what sort of communication do they get. Is this safe? They don't want to lose 100,000 first time giving it to me. So that's totally cool. Let's get those people, let's get their feet wet and see what it's about.
I mean, I think that's what I say. We could really help in this category, especially over this year. I mean, I really think now I see like I could do this myself personally, right? If I didn't even start the company at Dental Nachos, I could do it like tomorrow, right? But so I'm trying to use my normal dental self. There's a lot of 43-year-old dentists who $25,000 to $50,000. It's not no money, but they're looking to invest. It's exactly what you said. They make enough and they have left over in a checking account, or they put it in Vanguard, or so this is a perfect diversify right up their alley. So I think it's it's and you kind of give them this, Brandon was right. Like you're like you're like a good supervisor of their like thinking they do it on their own, right? Like there's this interesting thing where they feel like, oh, I'm doing something on my own, but kind of like the chaperone of Alan is really helping them. It's
right. I mean, and Alan is 2 levels removed because Alan's not the fund manager. He's finding the fund manager. You know what I mean? So Alan's the concierge of this, but still, it's, like I said, all the people that want to be do-it-yourselfers and everything. And, I mean, the bottom line is rarely in life are you want to do anything without some kind of fee. Obviously you have, CityVest has their fee embedded into this. I can't even remember what you said it was. You told me before. And I think you said it on one of the interviews you did with Paul, but, people just, It's just funny. I always laugh at the dentists who say, I don't like to pay anybody a fee to do anything. I want to do it myself, but yet they'll complain about Smile Direct. Like,
Yes, exactly.
But
awesome, Al. Well, this is perfect. I'm excited for this. I want to deliver some people who work with you directly. It sounds like this is a good opening to do that. Anything else you're thinking of for us, or any ideas that you had that you think would be helpful to us?
No, just to come back to one concept that I've mentioned a couple of times on your show with regard to doctors thinking that they can make investments, right? I've mentioned this a couple of times. There's this circle of competence where,
right, yes,
you know what you're doing. That's your dental business. And then you start wandering around the internet and you think you're a professional investor, right? You watch Mad Money. Oh, I'm going to invest in that, right? Oh, Tesla's now at $1,000 a share. Now I'm going to jump in, which is totally ridiculous to even have that concept.
Exactly. I love that.
So you need to find the people that actually have that level of competence that you want to partner with to do the best thing. And usually that's a financial advisor. We just don't happen to work with financial advisors. We do it ourselves. We don't need, somebody else in the mix to introduce us to the money. We need you to introduce us to the money. So
this is going to be so perfect. I just want to, I love that circle of competence, Alan. I remember you saying that. It's helped me. And Brandon just sent this out today. See, Brandon, you got to write down. We got to get these 8 people into the call.
Yeah, I'm asking Natalie to compile all the questions.
Natalie, because look, like Alan, 8 people connected on CityVest today, right? So these 8 people are interested, but did they move forward? Wow. Now we'll target these 8 people plus our YouTube plus 10 to go to December 30th, and we'll keep working it this way. I think we just have to go deeper instead of wider for you. Right. And I think that's going to be perfect. Right, because it's a higher ticket item to decision, so they're not going to make the decision the first time they hear about you. So we definitely got to say something to them about CityVest 5 to 7 times. For sure.
And your marketing has been focused on retirement. While that's okay, I don't look at us as a retirement investment.
Right. I mean, 7 to 10 years is just an investment. Right. I mean, you're just sophisticated, Alan. I mean, I know I know you're not like a 401k. It's just that when you talk to a dentist about getting them out of the operatory, it's like a good brain thing, to be like, this thing's going to help me retire earlier, not necessarily a retirement investment, just, to create more financial security for themselves throughout their career. Right. So on our website, our tagline is build wealth through real estate. Right. Yeah. Right. It's not. We'll start using that instead of the fire as much. We'll use build wealth through real estate. I love that. It's more to the point. I know you got to go. I got a call. I got to jump from Mary, but Alan, this is great. We'll connect with you a couple days before the 30th and see what kind of momentum we get. But enjoy the holiday season. And Brandon, remind me. I want to send some stuff out to get people on that call. All right, I will. Awesome. Thanks, Alan. Great talking to you. Thank you, guys. Great talking to you.